Hello everybody, Aiden here and welcome to another video here on the Around the Slice Entertainment YouTube channel. So, due to Super Bowl 60, HBO smartly decided to release slash drop episode 4 of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, the Game of Thrones spinoff, of course, a couple of days early on Friday, February 6th, to avoid the Super Bowl hubbub and the Super Bowl scheduling and popularity and all that, which is a smart move in my opinion. So today I'm here, of course, to review and discuss it. Mainly, I have two main points, I want to relay with this episode. Because I was kind of mixed on this episode, if I'm being honest. First half was just kind of eh. It started out kind of rough for my personal likes and tastes. Second half of the episode ending, outstanding. Like some of the best stuff we've ever gotten in the Game of Thrones universe as a whole on record, if you ask me, up to this point in time. My one big criticism after seeing last week's big cliffhanger, last few minutes, if you will, finale, if you will, I wanted more Egg in this episode. After last week's reveal that Egg, his true identity is Aegon, and he's a Targaryen at his core, I felt we were going to get this big character study of Egg in episode 4 in this week's episode. I thought we were going to get a deep exploration of his family ties and family past. I thought that was going to be supported by multiple flashbacks. Sure, we see him talking to Sir Duncan and mention his brother Daeron Targaryen here and there, but I thought we were going to actually see Daeron and his brothers and some other relatives from the past. I thought we were actually going to see how they ruled. I thought we were actually going to support that with flashbacks. I say I was kind of mixed and this first half of the episode is kind of boring and a drag for me, if you will, for all intents and purposes, rather, because it was a lot of just people meandering around, just talking around, a lot of exposition and a lot of setup, which is great. We obviously need a big background on Egg as a whole, but I thought this was going to be a big Egg-centric episode, and other than the first 5 to 10 minutes of the episode, we really didn't get a lot of meaty Egg exploration, if you will. We didn't really I thought this was going to be a big character study episode for Egg and progress Egg's character as a whole. And that goes back to this series, unfortunately, for 4 episodes, has had some kind of a few plot lines here and there, a few storylines here and there, if you will, that have kind of gone nowhere, unfortunately, in my opinion. Like a couple episodes ago, we saw that flashback in the very beginning with Sir Aaron of Pennytree, and we found out that later on at the end of the episode that Sir Duncan, rather, used to be a squire for him specifically. And I thought going forward, the very next episode, we were really going to explore the relationship between the two, and it really didn't. So it was unfocused for that. Cliffhanger Egg, I thought this was going to be a big character study episode for Egg, and it really wasn't. So that's my one big criticism for this episode. But shift over to the last 10 freaking minutes of the episode. That saved the episode for me, because I was going to give this kind of an rating, like a moderate rating, if you will. But the last 10 minutes of the episode were so freaking superb. Dunk is finally taking command. Dunk is finally taking control as a hedge knight, and one day he wants to be a knight, of course. We'll see how Egg comes back to the picture with him, but it feels like, my jaw was on the floor towards the end of that episode with the last 10 minutes, mainly. And I have a feeling that next week, episode 5, next week's episode, we're going to get our first big, classic Game of Thrones style showdown in this show, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Big, classic Game of Thrones battle, fight scene, a lot of combat, if you will. Because they've taken a while to get to the combat. They've taken a while to present any plot or substance. Don't get me wrong. I love diving into Dunk the character. I love diving into his morals, seeing what his goals are in life, seeing how he wants to work his way up from a hedge knight to being a full knight, and maybe in taking on Egg as a squire. But I want some combat. I want some Game of Thrones type shit. And we're finally going to get that, feels like the classic showdown, if you will, from Game of Thrones, main show specifically, in next week's episode. I'm expecting next week's episode to be a 10 out of 10. Anything less would probably be a slight disappointment, because what we've set up to this point, and the very end, last 10 minutes or so, give or take, of this week's episode that we just had. So anyways, bit of a quicker review. I just wanted to relay 2 points from that episode. Kind of meandering, boring. I thought I wanted a lot more Egg. I wanted a true character study of his past, maybe some flashbacks of his brother's family ties to support that. But the last 10 minutes of this really saved it for me. Now, I can't go super high because we still do have the first half of the episode is just kind of in my opinion. But the last 10 minutes, like, vaulted up significantly. I'm going to give this 8.25 out of 10, mainly just because the last 10 minutes alone and what it's setting up for directly next week's episode. So, episode 4 of the Night of the Seven Kingdoms on HBO and HBO Max, I'm going to give an 8.25 out of 10. I really like what we're headed going forward. I really hope we get that big classic Game of Thrones combat scene, fight scene, whatever you want to call it, showdown, if you will, battle next week in episode 5. So, yeah, 8.25 out of 10. Let me know down in the comments below. How would you rate this episode? Are you with me where the first half was kind of and the second half was spectacular with the last 10 minutes mainly with that? Sir Duncan taking control. Sir Duncan, rather. And yeah, you can follow me on Twitter /X at awagner13. Always tweeting and discussing movie news and stuff with my loyal followers. So follow me over there. Please like and subscribe because we always have fun and creative content and video ideas coming out on this channel on a damn near daily basis, multiple times a week at this point. But for regularly scheduled programming that you can expect on a weekly basis, every Thursday night we have HBO's The Pit. And then every Sunday night, of course, we have HBO's A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. HBO crushing it, knocking out of the park right now, if you will. And then in a couple of weeks, we have Paradise on Hulu, FX on Hulu, Paradise, Season 2 starting. So that will be another fun adventure. And yeah, please like and subscribe for all that fun stuff. Thank you for please like and share this video with anyone and everyone you know. And thank you for the support as always. I will see you on the next one. Goodbye.